if your children are too much into playing those video games which are probably called PS, or if they're playing games that is just stimulating their mind but is ignoring their body, then I think it's a good time for you to introduce them to the hoops. Howdy everyone, this is Astha Joshi and you're watching Learning Never Stops, and in today's video we're going to talk about how you can get your children into hooping and what benefits it will bring to them. So if you're ready, let's get started. So let's start by first talking about the benefits of hula hooping on children. The first and the most important benefit of hooping on children that I have seen out of my own personal experience, not only on my children but the children I teach, is concentration. Yes, hooping does help children develop much more concentration than earlier. I have seen it in a way because they focus on the hoop. They're all the time focusing on the hoop. They don't want the hoop to fall down. They are doing tricks on hoop which helps them keep focused and concentrated on one thing, and that's their hoop. The second thing is body balance. Of course, with hooping comes balance within the body, moving the body so that we can balance the hoop, and we can only balance the hoop once our body is in balance. So children learn how to balance and how to keep their body in control when they hoop. The third benefit of hula hooping on children is the development of their gross as well as fine motor skills. Now what are gross and fine motor skills? Gross motor skills are those skills जिसमें कि बच्चे use their large muscles, उनकी बॉडी में जो लार्ज मसल्स होती हैं वो उसको यूज़ करते हैं और वो स्ट्रेंथन होती हैं, जैसे देयर आर्म्स, देयर लेग्स, देयर ट्रंक एज इन देयर मिडिल बॉडी. सो दे ऑल आर गेटिंग एंगेज्ड जब आप हुला हुपिंग करते हैं. सो बच्चों के लिए ग्रॉस मोटर स्किल्स डेवलप करने के लिए हुपिंग इज़ very very good. Coming to fine motor skills, when they're hula hooping, they use their calf, they use their toes, they use their core. Hooping is not only restricted to waist, and especially for kids. When you introduce your hula hoop to kids, kids will come out with all sort of things. They will like to skip on the hoop, they would do some or the other kind of tricks on it, maybe they'll roll it or whatever. So it also helps them develop their fine motor skills, which are जो कि छोटी वाली मसल्स होती हैं हमारी बॉडी में. The next benefit is, of course, it exercises their body. So if you want your children to get tired and go to the bed early or in time, then introduce them into hooping. They'll get really tired because they work their whole body. It's a great physical workout for your children, and it can be done indoors and outdoors. I know with all the restrictions now to go out, things have got difficult. They don't have an open area to run, especially when you live in flat. So introduce them to hula hooping. Just create some space in your house like I have done in my living area. I have some space for them in their room itself and in my room itself, wherein they can practice hula hooping. It doesn't require too much of space, but it does require some space. So clear up, just move your tables here and there, and they can come back to place again. So don't worry about that. You can hear the table moving. Well, now you must be thinking that what will be the right age to introduce your children to hooping. Well, I would say to that, you don't have to introduce your children to hooping at all. You just have to introduce them to the hoop. Okay, so what will be the right age? I think even a year-old child can play with a hoop. I mean, it is a great thing to play with. You can introduce the shaped circle to your child. You can go wheels on the bus. I do that with my children in my class. I do wheels on the bus. I introduce the shape circle to them through this. And there's so many things. I put it down and I ask them to jump inside the circle. So there's so many things that you can do with a hoop. So you can start as young as an year-old child, and beyond the sky is the limit. All right, now let's go to the next segment of this video, which is how to introduce your child to the hoop. The most important thing is that introduce the hoop to your child as a toy, not as an exercising machine or an exercising device, and this will make you exercise and you have to use it like this. No, no, no. Just give it as a toy to your children and let them explore it on their own. Trust me, you will not even imagine how they use the hoop. I mean, my little one, whenever she sees Peppa Pig jumping in the muddy puddle, she runs. She gets her hoop, she puts it down, and she starts going up and down in the muddy puddle inside the hoop. So for her, the hoop creates the muddy puddle for her. When you introduce a hoop to your child as a toy, they explore it in their own curious manner and they get much more friendly with it. I've seen my children and children in the nursery, spinning the hoop, moving the hoop, and they know their hoop so well. They're so comfortable with the hoop now, and that's when you can introduce them to hooping. Now when you introduce your child to the hoop as a toy, you don't want a hoop like this. This is an adult hoop, so this should be absolutely out of picture, right? This is also a hoop that I have for my daughter, but I introduced it at a very, very later stage when she got very comfortable and confident with these hoops. So introduce your children to hoops which are flashy and are beautiful and looking. Something like these, they're glittery, they're their favorite colors. So introduce the hoops that will attract your child. Now these hoops are really cheap. They're not expensive, and because they will get rugged up, they will stamp on it, they will throw it here and there, so you don't have to even go into buying something very extravagant or expensive for your children. Now this hoop was, I think, 5 or 8 AED, which is around 100 rupee, and even less than that. And this one was for 20 AED. So they're not very expensive hoops, and they are readily available in the supermarket. If you go to the children section, तो आपको hoops वहाँ पे मिल ही जाएंगे. Okay, you can buy them online also. So yeah, just explore some. So that's all for the video today. See you next week. Until then, adios, amigos and amigas.